Welcome to our 2025 Concordia Women's Lacrosse season preview. My name is Matt Mitchell, being joined by senior midfielder Ava Karloff, coming off a season in which she was named second team all-conference selection. Before we talk about last year, I want to talk about the fact you're one of three seniors on this team, and I guess what that means to you as far as leadership goes.
It's very exciting. It's also sad since it's my last year playing lacrosse ever. I feel like especially since I was captain last year, I've been working on building that leadership up, and I feel like I'm super close with the girls. So it comes naturally to me because we're super close. So I feel like that'll be good for this season.
When you look at leadership, did it always come naturally, or is that something that you've had to grow toward and learn?
I definitely had to build it up. I had to build up my confidence. It came through, the more years I played lacrosse, the more my confidence grew, and the more confident I was to take a step up and take control of the team and build that leadership.
Outside of leadership, is there a different mindset? Do you have a different mindset knowing that this is your final go-around?
I am just enjoying every single second, and this sounds so cliche. Even the sprints, even the long runs or the conditioning, I'm never going to do this again unless I'm maybe coaching or something, but I'm never going to be on the player side, so I'm enjoying every single second because I'm not going to get it back.
Well, you go back to last season, being named a second team all-conference selection. You came through with 3 goals, 3 assists, 23 ground balls, 6 draw controls, 21 calls, turnovers. Get your thoughts on the way you played last year.
I worked my butt off, so I was really excited to hear about that. Hopefully it gets even better this year. Again, I've just been working. Every year I'm learning something new. Every season, every practice, I'm always trying to improve, so we can only go up from there.
And we'll talk about some of your goals in a second, but I guess, what are you seeing so far from this team? I know some athletes are playing other sports right now, so it's tough as you guys build that chemistry, but what are you seeing in practice from your teammates?
We have 7 new players this year, freshmen, and then we have a couple of girls that have never played before, and they've been working their butts off. And our practices have been super small because half of our team's in hockey right now. But from what I've been seeing, every single girl, they're trying to learn something new every single day. They're improving, so it's a really good environment with our team right now.
Being in the midfield, did your role change a great deal as far as responsibilities go?
I think so, a little bit. A majority of the past few years, I've been playing defense, and I feel like I'm going to be playing more midi this year due to the numbers. So I feel like since I've been playing defense and midi, it's a little bit the same.
So with that being said, though, okay, so last year we saw 3 goals, 3 assists. Could we maybe expect some more goals and assists out of you?
Yes, hopefully, especially if I'm playing midfield. I've been working in practice, getting more comfortable with my shooting and being more confident in attack. So hopefully I rack up some more goals this season.
Well, you look at the schedule, and you guys go to Tennessee to start the year to help build that chemistry and bring this team even closer. From a conference standpoint, I guess, what do you think when you think NAC Women's Lacrosse? You have new teams now. It's a bigger conference. What excites you about what could be in conference play?
The more competition, different teams, different girls, better girls. I just think it's going to be super fun getting to compete against different teams.
Finally, for you, outside of we want to win and obviously compete for that conference championship, what goals do you have for yourself?
I don't want to be too hard on myself. Sometimes I get very competitive, and I hold myself to a very high standard, so I want to make sure I'm able to brush it off if I have a bad play, move on, and then just enjoy the game.
Well, Ava, thanks for your time. All the best to your new teammates this season.
Take care.
All right, being joined by the Concordia Women's Lacrosse head coach, Emily Schessel, back for season number 15. And looking back at 2024, 6 victories, 9 defeats, a lot of competitive matchups, day in, day out. How would you go about summarizing last season?
I think we had a lot of really close games, a lot of close conference competitions, which is what you want, but we just didn't quite put it together in some of those games. So it just kind of felt like things weren't clicking here and there, and then we'd fix one thing and we'd have to fix something else the next week. But I feel like we made a lot of progress last season, and we should be good to go for this year.
Just the nice thing is a lot of familiar faces back from that of last season. What are you seeing so far from those who are out here practicing here in training camp?
Yeah, I think everybody is just taking off where we left off last season, and it feels like we are going to make some good strides here in the preseason and be ready to go for our first couple games in March.
A couple of players I want to pinpoint, Caitlin Cardinell coming back after being named a first-team all-conference selection for a second consecutive year. Because what have you seen from her, and what maybe do you expect from her now in season number 3?
Yeah, she's got a real knack for finding the goal and getting in those tight spaces in the 8. I think that she knows what she needs to do in there, and she's going to be a real threat for us on attack.
And when you look in the midfield, back for a senior year is Ava Karloff, coming off a second-team all-conference season. What do you expect from Ava?
Great leadership. She's always given us great leadership and really leads by example on the field by putting in that work that we need her to do all over the field. So we expect that from her, and just to continue growing as a threat all over the field.
When you look at the roster, about 17 listed. There are 6 freshmen. How have the newcomers fit in?
I think that they're going to fit in great all over the place. We've got a couple of D, a couple of middies, a couple attackers coming in, and I think they're going to be joining an experienced group, so they'll fit in nicely.
Obviously, this could change as the season progresses and as games are played, but I guess right now as you stand here, what do you think might be the strengths of this team?
I think communication is a huge strength for us. I think that we have figured a lot of stuff out in this preseason and in last year's season as well, just how to communicate with each other on the field and get each other to where we need to be and keep working hard together.
And I guess to follow that up, what concerns do you have going into the season?
I think just making sure that we're clicking on those little things that we didn't figure out last year. Like I said, it seemed every week it was a different thing that we weren't quite putting together. So I think mostly just consistency and making sure that we're clicking on those things all over the field all season long.
What have you come to expect when you think NAC women's lacrosse? Obviously, the conference now has grown here this spring. There's some new members. What do you expect when you think conference competition?
I think we've gotten really competitive in the last few years. A lot of teams have really raised the bar and kind of stepped up. So we saw that last season with some of those close games that we were in. And I think that that's what we're looking forward to, having those close competitive games, really gritty, hardworking teams that we're playing against.
When you look at the schedule, this Falcon team is going to be a bunch of road warriors. A lot of road contests, only 6 home dates throughout the course of the spring. Wrapping up by asking you about that first opportunity. So coming up on March 2nd, March 4th, you're in Tennessee against Spalding, against Sewanee. Is that kind of by design to help maybe build chemistry? You guys are, on the road together, spending a lot of time together. Is that by design?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what spring training has always been for us. We try to take some opportunities during that week to do some team bonding, play some competition that we wouldn't normally see during the year in region. So it's nice to have a really tough game and maybe one that's maybe a little closer to our competition level. I think it'll be a good trip for us.
Well, Coach, all the best. Thanks for your time. We'll see you later on this spring.
Thank you.
Home opener coming up March 15th against Adrian at 3 p.m. Stay tuned to CUWFalcons.com for more women's lacrosse information.